Hey everyone, Sage from Sage Light Healing here. Just doing another reading this week. I really have just been feeling called to, I don't know, there's a lot going on. I had a request from, I don't know if it's my guides or somebody else's guides, someone in the collectives. Whoops, that flew right out. There was a major timeline shift that just happened, and it feels like a lot of you are, including myself, are feeling a little disoriented from it. So they kind of want to talk about it a little bit more. So first card that just flew right out, this flew out right side up, the Chess Queen. I'm using my new deck. I'm super excited. I'm really much loving having something new to kind of play around with. Chess Queen. So trust, strategizing. This is really coming in as an ally in, it's a very blatant reminder. So yes, there was definitely a timeline shift that just happened. It was a big one. Timeline shifts, when we jump from one timeline to another, depending on how close those timelines are, is going to be how strongly we can feel it, right? So little hops where like there's like small changes, minor different outcomes happening. We might not feel it so much. This is not that. They are saying that this was the timeline we were on. All the way over here is the timeline we just jumped to in one swoop. So there is a lot of, if you've been feeling like extremely fatigued, very just constantly nauseated, food has not been appealing to you, and you just feel physically out of sorts. We're not even talking about mentally or emotionally. That's just physically, and you don't know why, and you can't seem to figure it out. That's some of the results of this timeline jump. So Chess Queen, trust, strategizing. They're very much saying you need to have faith. We are making big moves to move everything over to a much more positive and faster paced in a good world, like positive higher vibrations. That's what we're trying to use, the word I'm trying to use. Whew, it's all coming out jumbled right now. They're like really excited to get this message out. I'm pulling, I think, okay, so I pulled all of these in reverse. We're gonna flip them because I think I just have my deck upside down. We have the word Lord, communication, praise, or dishonesty. The Diamond Dreamer, material wealth, truth, prosperity. And the Altar Priestess, preparation, prayer, sacred ritual. Okay, so I'm hearing something very interesting because in my head, I'm like, okay, I pulled so many in reverse that maybe my deck's just upside down. They're like, no, they're supposed to be both ways, which is a little confusing, with the exception of the fact that when you timeline jump, you have to anchor in the new timeline. You feel like, I don't even know what kind of visualization is coming through to try and explain it. But when you jump, it's like you literally have to weigh anchor, or you end up being pulled back to the timeline that they don't want you on. So these coming in reverse, but me feeling like they should have been right side up, but they could go either way. In the new timeline, we're very much in a space of communication and praise. Letting yourself get pulled back. You're going to be pulled back to, if you don't stay focused, if you don't stay focused on where you need to go, where you want to go. This is like so high level. I wish I could get more detailed, but this is like big stuff. We're going to fall back into negative habits. What they want to do is they don't want you to fall into, like, if you find yourself falling into negative mindsets, doubt, fear, envy, jealousy, just wishing pettiness upon others, you're going to find yourself kind of shifting back to the old timeline, which was very stuck. There's a dead end at that timeline right now. So that's why they're trying to rapidly move everyone, because there's something about that timeline that's like hard stop. The material wealth, true prosperity, this coming, going, again, this is like the same thing. This is like, they're showing us what we can have in the new timeline, which is communication, praise, material wealth, prosperity, sacred ritual, really being connected. Like, they're telling us everything that we could have in the new timeline versus everything will be lacking if we keep letting ourselves kind of go back to the old one. I'd like to get a little bit more specific here than that. Like, it just feels, I don't even know. This feels so high level, and I usually like to have like, but they're like, no, it's not even situational. Okay, we pulled this one in reverse. Everything's coming in reverse with this deck. The River Queen, flow, letting go, natural movement. Don't fight the flow. If you like, you have to trust that everything is happening for a reason. So yeah, this is definitely, I feel like we're all like, everyone who this resonates with, you're on the brink, right? Like, because you can't quite visualize where the new timeline is taking you because we spent so much time focused on the previous timeline that it's like we have to like realign our whole perspective, right? And that's a hard thing, especially when you were working towards a very visualized goal and now all of a sudden it feels like that goal doesn't exist anymore. It feels like the goal that you've been working towards just suddenly doesn't exist. And they're like, no, it does exist. It just exists differently. And the reason it's existing differently, the Ringmaster of Scrutiny, discernment, clear vision, details to follow. They're saying there's more details to come, and that's why this has been like, this is such a high level reading today. They're saying that the details are still kind of being worked out because we just made we've just made the jump. They're very much like, we just made the jump. We are working really hard to like weigh anchor over here so that we don't accidentally get blown back to this old timeline. I wish I could have, is there any insight to like what happened in that old timeline? They're kind of like, it just ended. Something happened and it just like went kaput. I don't know how to explain it. It merged. Oh, it downgraded. Okay, so they're saying it downgraded with another timeline. It like kind of collapsed, that the one we were on, and it downgraded. And so the options were either we downgrade with it and everything we've been working towards with raising like the global vibration, everything we'd be reset and have to start over, or we take this much needed super leap and we hold on and we place our stakes. I almost feel like the visual I'm getting is like a hot air balloon with like stakes being planted in the ground so it doesn't float away. Like we're really just getting our feet wet here. Okay, we got the resting tree, patience and stillness. This came right side up. This is very much like, hey, this was a major shift. It's okay to allow yourself downtime. You don't have to be going 100 miles an hour right this second. You really, really don't. I can understand. Sorry, there's like notifications coming in. This was I can understand. So this is a specific person or being coming through. I can understand why it might feel like you're not going anywhere when you were in forward motion and then all of a sudden you've been jerked to a halt, but you weren't jerked to a halt to be dragged backwards. You were jerked to a halt to be dragged sideways. And they're like, you really have to understand that. So the best thing you can do right now is take care of yourself. If you are feeling exhausted all the time, give yourself extra sleep. I don't know, go get a facial, get a massage, do something that is for you. That very much the message has been coming through, and not just like for my readings, for readings I've actually gotten for myself from other people. Like the message that keeps coming through is you need to live in your joy right now. You need to live in your joy and do what brings you joy and continue to pursue things that are joy driven. That is all they want you to do right now. While they're saying they're doing the heavy lifting of placing the anchors in this new timeline. There's actually not anything we have to do. We just need to not be cutting the ropes as fast as they're like trying to stake it down, right? So, okay, these two pulled in reverse. The Mapmaker of Destiny, authentic purpose, inspiration, free will. The Queen of the Light, illumination, enlightenment, celebration. Okay, these pulled in reverse because we're having a lot of struggle with, we're not seeing the light right now. And we might feel this whole, like, the fact that the map maker kind of came, and I love these cards so much. The fact that the map maker came in reverse, where we're really struggling with free will. This is a little bit of, we're trying to control what's going on right now, but we need to have faith that they're guiding for the greater good, because our version of control right now would be going back to the timeline that's familiar, that is lower vibration. We need to very much let it come in, and we will find our new our inspiration and our authentic purpose. It's all aligned on this new timeline, and it's going to be a time to celebrate very, very soon. They're like, just be patient. They're there's definitely a lot. I said this in my last reading. There's a lot going on with the planetary movement right now. And that's part of why things are in this like pause period, because all of these, you know, we had the planetary alignment on February 28th, right? Which was huge. A lot had to shift with that. That's when the timeline shifted, is what they're telling me. That was actually used to jump it. Okay, and then now we've got some retrogrades going on. Ooh, yay. Okay, so the Keeper of the Scales, this popped up in my last reading earlier this week, but it popped up in reverse, which was kind of a bummer. It now popped up right side up. So fairness and balance. This means we are finally swinging back into balance, and you guys are going to start seeing little signs. They're like, there's a call to really be aware of the signs right now. Little itty bitty shifts that are going to feel positive and feel like things are coming back to a place that you are comfortable. And everything's going to equal out. So if the timeline jumped for you in such a way that there was like chaos or arguments, which has been a very common theme in a lot of my readings, like there was a lot of like what felt like destructive end shifts going on, and things felt super out of balance and out of whack. If that is where you were at when the timeline jumped, it's gonna level out. We're gonna start seeing the signs very, very soon. I'm hearing within the week. What's today? Today's Thursday, so like by the end of next week. And as I was saying before, you know, we have some eclipses going on this month. We have a couple retrogrades, so they're like, this is not a time to rush. It's not a time to rush. It's not a time to run. It's time to rest. For some of you, this is interesting. For some of you, you are going to actually, like this timeline jump, I feel like this is going to resonate, and I'm not trying to freak you out if it does. It's going to resonate for you that you felt the jump, and it's going to feel like the other you from the other timeline died. So there is no going back for you. And that's a really disconcerting feeling, to feel like you died on another timeline. Which, you know, we've all died, past lives, future lives. Death is just a part of all of this great experience, right? But I don't know why that's so important for me to talk about. But it is. And that for you, that feeling, this is like your validation. So they're saying if you are having a mourning period for yourself right now, that's okay. It's okay to mourn that version of you. You are in a higher version. You are still here. You're still grounded, but like, it's okay to mourn that. But so if you're having these overwhelming moments of sadness for yourself, not self-pity, but like it feels like you're mourning and you don't know why, it's because something about that other timeline, when we jumped, it really was like done. And you have to let that version of you go. Okay, these both pulled right side up. Oh, this is such a beautiful one. The Hawk Prince. This is spirit communication, paying attention. This comes back to what I was saying about the signs are here. You really have to pay attention to the signs. They are coming in so strong. You have to really pay attention because spirit is communicating with you. Then we have the Fire Prince, optimism and aggression. Now what's great, this is another one that in my last one popped, but it popped in reverse. It's now right side up. So do you see what I'm talking about? Like even from when yesterday is when I filmed my other reading to today, these cards that were in reverse are now right side up, which means our guides are doing their job and placing those anchors. They want you to pay attention. They want you to follow the signs. They want you to stay focused on bringing in the light with them. That's all we need to do. It's like they want us to be the flash, at the airport, you know, the light people, well, to help them place the anchors in this new reality. So man, we're getting there, guys. That's really, this whole message is a message of hope, and just knowing it's everything that's shifting is for the better. The Dream Walker. Dreams, the collective good, and illusions. This popped in reverse. We're working towards the collective good. Why is it in reverse? Because we're not seeing it. We need to, we're not focused enough on this. They want us to focus on it. So this is the next card to shift. It's so amazing that we've had 2 cards that went from negative to positive within 24 hours. This is the next card to shift. We need to focus on the collective good. We have to get out of our heads of whatever's going on in our immediate lives, which I know is easier said than done. And really remember that everything's raising on a ginormous scale. And it's so hard to remember that sometimes, because this life experience that we're in can be very alienating, and it's hard not to fall. Okay, I have to look up. I'm gonna look up this one. I have my book with me because I'm still learning this deck, but this one popped right side up. The Desert Prince. It says survival, but then it also says false promises. And then the Eagle King, this also popped right side up. The Big Picture, which is what I literally was just saying, and angelic help, which is the guides. They're literally saying focus on the big picture. Okay, so pause here quickly. I really want to look up the Desert Prince because I want to understand right side up what this means. Ally, when you stumble upon the Desert Prince, you receive a gift. The plant life that exists in the desert environment is well defended, tough, and succulent, even though it gets little or no water. In spite of external conditions, extraordinary life can form and thrive. Be tough, have courage, and dare to dream no matter what the circumstances. It may seem to be a hard time, but not only will you survive, you will thrive. In spite of conditions, you will succeed. Dry spells are also true tests of faith and courage. Expect nothing less than what is in your most precious dreams and watch miracles manifest. Okay, guys, what an awesome way to I'm going to pull one more card, but what an awesome way to kind of wrap this reading. This is a gift. Survival. We are not only going to survive this timeline shift, we are going to thrive. And whatever is going on for you right now, personally, that feels like the world is coming to an end, it's not enough to snuff you out. And it's going to be so beautiful. And some of you are going to blossom in ways you literally physically could not on the other timeline. It just wasn't possible. That timeline was not on a high enough frequency, and it wasn't raising it up fast enough. We jumped. I mean, they keep stressing that. We jumped, like free fall. We jumped, but we landed. And now it's just kind of like letting everything settle. This one popped in my last reading too. And I'm going to talk about it again because it's really, really important. This is the Metal King, discipline, armor, and boundaries. I want to read this one too. Yesterday I was talking about how using our positivity is our armor, but I kind of just want to see what it says since it keeps coming up, right? So bear with me, guys. The Metal King this is the ally, this is right side up. The Metal King is strong and arrives to lend you his impenetrable shield of protection. No matter who sends you criticism or jealousy, you will not be hurt. This ally also prompts you to think about setting healthy boundaries. When you do, no matter how uncomfortable that task may be, everyone will benefit. He asks you to make sure you know where you end and another begins. Others' emotions are not your emotions, no matter how empathetic you may be. Another of the Metal King's messages is to remind you how important it is to have a healthy sense of self-esteem. It's a good time to shine and be proud of what you have accomplished. Okay, so the thing about boundaries that it says here, I want to wrap because I'm trying to do shorter readings, but these just keep going and going. When they say boundaries are healthy for both you and everyone around you, one of the best things I ever listened to it was a little YouTube clip about how to say no, but it also talked about the importance of why you need to say no. And that is, if you say yes to someone, let's say someone asks you to do something and you say yes, but you are burnt out and you already know you don't have the capacity or even the interest, right? Then you know you're not going to be able to give that person 100% of whatever it is that they are looking for. So what favor are you really doing them by saying yes when you really needed to say no? So in saying no, it's not only protecting your energy, it helps that person understand, okay, I can't get all of my resources I need from this person. Where can I go from here? It's an honesty, it's a transparency thing. So when we're so many of us are conditioned to people please, especially if you are an empath, because you feel other people's emotions so strongly. You can feel their hurt sometimes when you say no. But if you're giving a yes out of that mentality, as opposed to I really truly want to or have the capacity to do this, not only are you draining yourself further, you're not giving them the courtesy of an honorable in action. Does that make sense? So you tell them no to be transparent so they can rethink their resources elsewhere. And it's okay to do that. And it might be uncomfortable, and some people might try to push back because they're very used to you being a resource. But in the long run, they'll either find somebody who has the capacity, or they will utilize the resources within themselves to get there, which can also be important. Sometimes people are too reliant on others. They don't have this confidence in themselves to be able to stand up and say, I can do this, even though they are capable, right? So there's a lot of different reasons. So I just kind of wanted to pitch that. And I'll come back to what I was saying yesterday, that our light is our armor. So whatever's coming at you, there's definitely a little, like, this feels like there's still some BS being thrown at you in the middle of all of these shifts going on, like people are taking shots or whatever. Your positivity is your armor. Seeing the light, knowing it's going to get where it needs to go, and letting everything else just kind of roll off. You can't take it to heart. And if other people choose to dwell in the darkness, they're going to end up getting dragged back to this dead-end timeline, and that's really their choice. It's not yours. We can't hold everyone down here with us. We have to hold our own. We have to pin our own. So I'm going to stop there because I've already gone longer than I was planning on. But let me know if this resonates with you, if there's anything I said that like really tracks. Again, this was really high level. It wasn't very detailed reading, but it's a collective reading. I feel like that really had to be said. So if you have questions or thoughts or comments, put them in the comment section, send me a DM. I'm here. Awesome. Thanks so much, guys, and good luck in your new timeline.